Ugh, this stuff is so gross. How much farther does the road go on like this? We might get turned into cotton candy by the time we get through. Page 26. While making their journey along the road, EK and Peck have come across a section that impedes their progress. Strewn about the trees are strange web-like membranes that block their path. Taking up sticks to clear the way, they slowly press on. Peck makes a strained joke that the webbing is so thick that it threatens to turn them into living cotton candy. Great. Not only is this stuff disgusting, now it's making my nose itch too. Well, could be worse. At least there's road for us to... wait. Huh? Peck? Page 27. As they continue to make their journey through the strange and dense webbing, EK's eyes and nose start to become irritated, giving him a runny nose. Frustrated, he begins to complain aloud. However, just as he admits that things could be worse, he notices that Peck has disappeared from his side. Weren't you listening? I said stay close to me. Peck, where are you? Hey! Peck! Peck! Page 28. Having lost sight of Peck, EK begins calling out for his younger brother, desperate to find him. However, Peck doesn't appear. Peck. It's all my fault. How could I let him out of my sight? Page 29. EK continues to look for his brother Peck, extending his search into the surrounding foliage. Leaving the relative protection of the open road, he subjects himself to several cuts and scrapes while rubbing past the alien plants. Even his trousers take a toll from the abuse, gaining a few tears of their own. Damn it! Damn it! I just can't give up. Huh? Peck? Page 30. Falling to his feet, EK despairs for his lost brother, but refusing to give up, he gathers his will to continue on. Suddenly, he notices the shadow of a person standing before him. Raising his head, EK calls out to his brother's name, but instead of finding Peck, it is instead a Sergal child, dressed in simple clothing. The person you seek? Not here. Is there a village nearby? Never mind, have you seen a Nagunder boy? I got separated from my brother. He can't be far, he's only a kid. Maybe he never existed at all. Page 31. EK begins to converse with the mysterious Sergal child, desperately rattling off a series of questions about where the Sergal is from and if they have seen his brother Peck. Somewhat typical of Sergals that live in remote northern tribes, the Sergal child's speech is relatively simple and has a distinctive broken speech pattern. What isn't expected, however, is that the Sergal's answers are rather mysterious, ambiguous, and decidedly unsettling. Are they truly suggesting that Peck doesn't exist? What? What do you mean by that? I meant all friends live within us. When we can see them, that time is precious. Are there other children besides yourself? Yes. Page 32. EK is surprised by the Sergal child's statement and presses them for information. Realizing they should explain further, the Sergal takes a moment to share one of their tribe's beliefs, thumping himself on the chest to signify their heart and the souls they believe lie within. Meanwhile, EK realizes that there may be other children where this Sergal comes from, and he finds that he is indeed correct. Perhaps little Peck will find his way there, or someone else in the village might have found him. More info on tribal Sergal beliefs of the soul. Many Sieg clan Sergals, such as those that belong to the Moldigger tribe, are always in danger of losing their lives all too easily. This is because they are generally a gathering of weak, cowardly people who do not have sufficient ways to fight back against the deadly Tuluxian flora and fauna. Due to this grim fact and harsh situation, they often develop a rather unique outlook on life and the concept of death. The Mole Digger tribe considers and recognizes what a living person is through a very unique lens. They believe that all of their collective souls in their community, their friends, exist together all among of their hearts. These souls exist as an invisible force or energy, but when a person is born, some of this existence flows from a mother to child, and the person now exists physically. However, they also accept that this existence is brief and temporary. When a person dies, their soul energy that was housed within returns to the group, where it lives on among each other. Thus, when a person loses their physical body or disappears, it is said that they simply revert back to their invisible soul essence. Because of this belief of transient existence, those of this belief regard their time spent together to be very precious and a blessing to have. This also gives them a somewhat altered perception of reality, as they do not distinguish between a friend's witness to death and a friend that departs the village and never returns. Page 33. EK follows his Sergal guide through the Talixian landscape. While hiking through the thick foliage, EK cannot help but look around in awe as the settled or stationary type Talixian creatures surround him. These barnacle-like creatures are responsible for producing the wispy silk-like threads that adorn the alien forest. There are a variety of creatures that inhabit the planet of Tal. Some are mobile and free to roam around, while others are stationary and remain in a fixed location. These are referred to as settled-type Talixian creatures. These are similar to creatures on Earth, as such barnacles and sea anemones that are technically animals but remain fixed in one location for the duration of their life and gather nutrients from their surroundings. Halt. Is something wrong? Page 34. EK and the Sergal child safely make their way out of the forest and its silk-producing inhabitants. Up ahead they can see a path that leads to an area where the grassy field parts way to a barren clearing. Suddenly, the Sergal child freezes, prompting EK to become alarmed and ask if there was an issue. Lore note. Throughout page 33 and 34, keen eyes will have noticed the presence of some odd, seemingly fuzzy orbs that are floating in the breeze. These are Talixian spores from various native flora, and are a common sight in the northern regions. Is something out there? Not sure. Follow my lead. Stay within 3 steps. Page 35. EK and the Sergal boy continue on their hike. They reach a waypoint, a tree, and take a left. Eventually they pause before a sandy area. There is something twisting and slithering on the ground. The Sergal boy cautions EK to stay close to him and follow him carefully, and not to stray any further than 3 steps away. Notes: it has now been revealed by the authors that the Sergal's gender is male. Page 36. EK and his Sergal guide begin their way through the sandy pathway, with strange and likely hazardous tendrils strewn about on all sides. EK heeds the Sergal boy's advice and keeps close. Lore note: the anatomy of a Sergal foot is highly visible on this page, as well as the shape of the tracks a Sergal would leave in the sand. Built for running and jumping, Sergals use their feet for quickly traversing a variety of rough terrain, helping to increase their chances of survival in such harsh environments. I think we are safe now. It's a village! Page 37. EK and his guide finally arrive safely at the village. This is the village of the Mole Digger tribe, which the Sergal boy is a member of. Its simple appearance is typical of Siege clan Sergals, and matches their lifestyle. It might not look like much, but it's home, and more importantly, it helps keep the tribe safe. Huh? Where is everyone? Hey! Where is our Mole Digger tribe? Chatty boy's back. Welcome back. Page 38. Upon entering the village, the Sergal boy searches for his fellow Mole Digger tribe members. Finding no sign of them in the first few shelters he checks, he calls out for the tribe's name. Finally, he discovers the entire tribe of Sergal children huddled together in a single house. He is greeted by a few of them, both verbally and with non-verbal sounds. A tribe mate calls him Chatty Boy, a title referring to his tendency to frequently speak using words. Northern Sergals in the early days of the Sieg clans usually did not have very wide vocabularies and often communicated with each other using simplistic animal noises. This is demonstrated by a few of the Sergal children making short whines and cries, similar in sound to puppies on Earth. We got chills suddenly, so we gathered. Scary. Is it something horrible you sense? Yes. Who's that? We are all here. Hello, everyone. My name's Ik. I'm looking for my younger brother. It is a person I met in the Cotton Roll Woods. Cotton Fluff. You got lost? You smell nice. Page 39. Ik's talkative Sergal friend begins to talk to the huddled group of Sergals. One of them reveals that they suddenly got a chilling sensation, a nearly sixth sense that can be best described as an unpleasant feeling of coldness in the atmosphere that surrounds the body, foretelling of danger lurking nearby. This is a good example of the natural sixth sense that Sergals often exhibit. One of the Sergal children asks who the new person is. Ik introduces himself and explains that he's looking for his brother. His chatty companion adds that he found Ik in the Cotton Roll Woods, the forest filled with the silk spinner, Telixian creatures that were responsible for the silk-like webbing. One of the little Sergals calls out Cotton Fluff upon hearing it mentioned. Meanwhile, the other children make a variety of simple animalistic sounds, including some short kitten-like mewing sounds. While this may seem new, Sergals have been shown by Mick in the past to have made cat-like noises, along with the more commonly known fox yip-yaps and deer yig sounds. My brother is just about your age. Mew? Huh? It's here! It's the thing! There it is! It's the scary thing we sensed! Page 40. Upon meeting the Sergal children, Ik takes a moment to gaze down at one of the youngest members of the group. Lost in thought, he muses aloud that it is about the age of its own brother, Peck. Too young to properly speak, the Sergal babe replies with a simple, kitten-like mew. Before he can continue reminiscing about his lost brother, Ik is interrupted by the other Sergals crying out in alarm. As predicted by the mysterious Sergal's sixth sense, the group identifies the source of what gave them an unsettling, chilling sensation before: a bizarre, pulpy creature shuffling near one of their dwellings. Several of the older children approach it slowly, makeshift weapons drawn. Beat it up! Beat it up! Page 41. While Ik looks on in stunned silence, the Sergal children rush the strange, shuffling monster and immediately begin striking it with their sticks and makeshift weapons. It is apparent that they are used to having to judge the threat level of the local wildlife and how to combat it accordingly. Such a skill is necessary in trying to survive these precarious, life-threatening environments. Page 42. After the rapid and furious onslaught by Sergal children, the soot-like monster seems to be defeated. However, it was far from dead, as it split off into 3 separate entities, each escaping in a different direction. Page 43. After the monsters split off into 3 entities, 3 Sergal children, including Ik's talkative guide, gave chase to finish them off. The first part of the creature slips among a group of rocks. Unfortunately, Ik's friend breaks his rod on the stones, missing his target. Likewise, the second part of the creature escapes through a fence-like group of branches. Fortunately, with a deft swing of their staff, the third children, known as Black Ears, successfully dispatches their quarry. 1 down, 2 to go. I got one. We both missed ours. Page 44. While Black Ears was successful in dispatching one of the monster segments, the other 2 Sergal children gave up on their case and returned to the group. Disappointed in themselves, they report that their targets got away. Meanwhile, Ik has his own disappointment to contend with. Unlike the Sergal children, whose weapons consisted of mere sticks, he is in possession of an actual sword, and yet he was unable to help his new companions combat the strange creature, and finds his hesitation deplorable. However, there is no time to contemplate any further. Just as they turn to go back to the village, one of the children that had remained behind begins to issue a loud, sharp, and high-pitched noise. There's a problem, and it doesn't sound good. Note: the Sergal's vocalizations are similar to the following earth animals. The yips sound like fox calls, the yig sounds like a deer or peacock, and the chirp noises are similar to that of a small bird, insect, or even a mouse's distress cry. Our dried moles, it's almost all gone. Why? All our effort to gather so much food now wasted. Page 45. The trio of Sergals rushes over to see what their tribe mate is alarmed about. To their shock and horror, they find that their food storehouse has been ransacked of nearly all of its contents. This building is where the tribe stored Telixian moles that were caught, gathered, and dried for preservation. These moles served as the primary food source for the entire tribe, but now almost all of them have been lost. One of the children mourns of this harsh situation while clutching one of the few remaining moles. As the name would indicate, the Mole Digger tribe is based around Telixian moles, which are an important staple of their diet. Typical of Zeeg clan Sergals, this tribe is comprised of weak and cowardly people who are unfamiliar with the techniques required to fight large and dangerous wildlife. Rather than hunting large game, they survive by eating twigs, bugs, and small animals such as Telixian moles that can be found in the forests and other wilderness. As this lifestyle cannot provide a wide variety of dietary selection, the Mole Digger tribe relies heavily on T-moles for the vast majority of their diet. Therefore, the loss of their food storage puts the entire tribe into a very grave and precarious situation, with their very survival at stake. So, that thing took all your food, huh? Yes, we must go far again, gather new food. There are no moles left here. Page 46. Night has fallen on the Mole Digger tribe's village. All of the children have gathered together, forming a circle. EK joins them, where they lament to him about their tremendous loss of food from their makeshift garnery storage. Today, another Sergal's name and occupation is revealed. The Sergal who mentions that the nearby area has been exhausted of moles is called Oracle. Her entire coat of fur is fully white, and she keeps her mane long. Her primary role in the group is keeping track of any strange and mysterious events the tribe experiences within the Telixian forest biome. She is also the mother of the smallest and fluffiest child in the tribe. Her role and ability is similar to Sergal shamans. However, without formal training, her capability pales to that of a true master shaman. People like Oracle have the potential to become fully fledged shamans, but to attain this prestigious rank requires some things that many siege clan tribes simply do not have access to due to their remote locations. The first prerequisite required is an official stamp seal that represents proof of their capability and training, with the second being an aptitude for fluent speech and high vocabulary. Lacking these, would-be practitioners would only be recognized as the wordless by mature, refined shamans. The wordless are not considered objectively capable individuals, as their unstable ability and lack of training may potentially cause dangerous and unexpected incidents. However, among the siege clans that lack access to proper shamans, people will still rely on the wordless as an alternative to shamans, despite their misgivings and lackluster abilities. We should sleep now. I share my home with Black Ears. When bad luck happens, we all sleep at the same time. When we wake, our luck will transform and bring us a better day. Page 47. With night settling down on the little village, Ikei's talkative friend suggests that they should get some rest. With Ikei as wary as he is, He offers no resistance to the idea. Ike is led to the dwelling that his friend shares with the circle known as Black Ears. As they drift off to sleep, Black Ears explains to Ike that when the tribe experiences a day of unfortunate events, the entire tribe will all go to sleep at the same time. According to their beliefs, this action is a ritual that helps to convert their bad luck into a more favorable tomorrow. Furthermore, it is thought that if a fog settles in the Tuluxian forest, the denser mysterious fog, the greater the impact the ritual will have. If the ritual works, they have effectively manipulated the future in their favor. Of course, there's no way to prove just how effective their look manipulation technique is. Still, having a faith in a brighter tomorrow may be enough to lift their spirits and shift the balance of fate in their favor. Mom, what are you doing? Oh. Mom, no. The stamp seal is... Page 48. Ike has fallen into a deep dream state, wherein he sees a mysterious shrine-like structure and a female Agunder standing before it. This woman is revealed to be none other than Ike's mother. Her physical appearance was only shown in a brief reminiscence on page 7 of the current episode. Keen readers might remember about the wolf horn stamp seal, a relic, often described as a heirloom, artifact, or a masterpiece of craftsmanship of his mother's own handiwork, which was shown earlier on page 22. This is a very rare and treasured item, which holds special ritual significance since it is crafted from the sacred Tuluxian wolf body parts. It seems that Ike's mother is performing some sort of mysterious ritual in front of the enigmatic structure, but why is Ike trying to keep her at bay from this act? Strange. Something seems different from the view yesterday. Good morning. Good morning. Page 49. Dawn arrives as the star Vilous rises over the horizon, casting light across the skies of Tal. Ike wakes up and emerges from the dwelling. Blinking in the morning light, he peers across the landscape. As he slowly wakes up, he becomes aware that something seems different about the scenery that surrounds him. Perhaps the tribe's good luck ritual actually worked, mystically changing the aura of the land. However, this moment of contemplation was interrupted by the bright and cheerful members of the tribe. What will this new day bring for Ike and those hopeful Sergals? Hey, Ike, come dig for moles with us. Thank you for letting me stay and rest, but I need to go now to find my brother. Huh? What do you mean? Page 50. The Mole Digger tribe children are about to leave to go dig for Tuluxian moles. This includes a rather lengthy hike to find where their main food source can still be found. Ike's talkative friend encourages him to come with them, fully expecting Ike to join on this vital yet somewhat thrilling journey. However, Ike gently rejects the offer in favor of departing to search for his missing younger brother, Peck. The Sergals respond in a particular fashion. They appear to be genuinely surprised and confused. Surely anyone would have understood Ike's urgency to find his sibling, so what's going on? Tuluxians and creatures. Tuluxians are this planet's animals, for the most part. The life of Tal is divided into two major groups, the Altus species and the Tuluxian species. These groups are fundamentally different from one another in their biology and evolution. The three primary sapient Altus races are Sergals, Agunders, and Nevrions. Most of Tal's wildlife belongs to the Tuluxian group. This includes countless documented and undocumented species, such as fish, insects, worms, mollusks, plants, and many other forms of life. Tuluxian organisms can be found everywhere, from cities and grasslands to dense forests and remote wilderness. Because they evolved naturally on Tal, they are considered the planet's native life and are often referred to by the Altus races as primitive creatures. Tal's landscapes look very different from those on Earth. Much of the planet is covered by unusual Tilixian plants that do not rely on chlorophyll, giving many regions an alien appearance. Likewise, many Tilixian animals have little resemblance to Earth's wildlife, even when they share similar names. A small number of Eltis plants and animals also exist on Tal. However, these species make up only a tiny portion of the planet's ecosystems, with Tilixian life remaining overwhelmingly dominant. Wolf stamp seal. It's a relic, essentially, kind of like a catalyst. The wolf stamp seal is a rare ceremonial item carved from a fang of a Tilixian wolf. Sergals refer to this body part as a fang, while Agunders traditionally call it a horn, giving the seal its name. The Tilixian wolf is a sacred animal in many traditional northern cultures, and is widely respected as an object of faith. Because of this, any item crafted from a wolf's remains is believed to possess a spiritual significance. Among these objects, the wolf stamp seal is one of the most highly valued. For Sergal shamans, owning one is a mark of spiritual accomplishment and serves as proof that they have completed their training and have earned recognition as experienced practitioners. The creation of a wolf stamp seal is usually entrusted to Agunder artisans. Carving a wolf fang into a detailed seal is a delicate, time-consuming work that demands patience, precision, and exceptional craftsmanship. Agunders are especially suited to this task because of their nimble hands, strong depth perception, and a talent for fine, intricate work. That's why the Sergals made them into slaves. Tilixian biomes. Ike has good reason to worry about those places. Some Tilixian plants are carnivorous and survive by capturing and consuming living prey. Depending on their size and hunting methods, some species are capable of attacking members of the Eltis races. You know, those humans that aren't actually human anymore. More on that later. Like most Tilixian life, carnivorous plants cannot tolerate salts. After consuming prey that contains salts, they produce and expel a substance called Hizomi non-bond to remove the salts from their bodies. They shit it out. Prolonged exposure to the salt severely weakens them, slowing their biological functions until they become almost completely inactive. Carnivorous plants hunt in different ways. Some are highly active, and some can move in search of prey much like animals. Others remain rooted in place, relying on methods such as sweet scents or hallucinogenic gases to lure victims within reach. Mitako Kaiden, featured in Episode 2, The Dark Clouds of Shingu, is a well-known example of this second type. Many species in the red plant group are aggressive and dangerous to Eltis people, although they are often harvested for food or raw materials. They can remain hazardous after being collected, so before they can be used safely, they must be treated with salt to neutralize their biological activity. By comparison, bluish plants and many species in the gray group are much less dangerous. These plants are generally passive and easier to harvest, process, and use as food or crafting materials, much like myself. Mozuk and drugs. Yeah, they make sleep cigs with this stuff, not just spread filling. So, Mozuk is a well-known medicinal herb valued for its sleep-inducing properties, although nowadays it's called kefbazi. Figure that out. It is commonly prescribed to treat insomnia. Eltis people typically use it by smoking it in cigarettes or a pipe, allowing its calming effects to take hold quickly. Because kefbazi causes drowsiness and relaxation, using it while driving is considered extremely dangerous. Driving under its effects, commonly known as kefbazi driving, is prohibited by law and treated as a serious offense. Honestly, I didn't even know Sergals could drive at all, so, this is all news to me too.